Okay, enough of the fucking COVID talk for now. I just had to get that off of my chest. It's like getting into some of these arguments with people is like really, really unfortunately been on the forefront of my mind because, like, I'm really anticipating not having to deal with this bullshit again. So. We'll move on. We'll move on. Now, I had spoke about Twitter. Now, speaking of Twitter, I was interested. Twitter came out with a version of a pay-for version, Twitter Blue, and I thought that was noteworthy. And they asked me if I wanted to subscribe to it. And I was checking out what they gave you on Twitter Blue, and I didn't think it was really worth it. Now, so I want to instead produce a suggestion that of what I would do to, or what I would pay for, in the price that they were asking me. I think like $7.99 a month or something like that, something very low or whatever. But and they gave you a few different perks of using it, and I didn't think the perks that they gave for paying for it really justified the price I would have to pay. So in turn, I would instead give a suggestion for Twitter to what I would pay for. Now, in order for me to consider paying for subscribing to a social media site, Twitter, I would subscribe. I would have a payment for subscription with only if they added only two things, and very easy things to add. So let's just go over them. So number one, I would pay for Twitter for following two things. Number one, blue check mark. I know it sounds simple, but I kind of like how they do it now. But I think they should have like just enough to prove that you're not a robot and you're a authentic human that's not using duplicate accounts or whatever. So enough to prove that you have enough tweets in the bank or have been registered for long enough, like with, say, like Kijiji or Amazon or Uber Eats, or how you get a customer rating based on how long you've been using them and the amount of interactions you've had that have gone positive, etc. So something like that where they can verify that you're not just a bot there to troll or something like that, or that you're, so just enough to tweets to prove that you're an authentic person. So I think that that a blue check mark could be paid for. I think that so that's a number one thing, getting an automatic blue check mark as long as I hit a certain level of tweets or time or something, a base minimum amount of what they would need to authenticate me as a human. And the number two thing would be infinite characters. Yes, I think that's the one thing about Twitter that like annoys me to the fucking nth degree, is not having infinite characters. Like, you can have the read more button, but to see like people with very complete and detailed thoughts, to see them having to like have like 30 threads in a tweet just because they want to display a more detailed and more complex idea to people, that should be punished. I mean, like, I think that draws a lot of people away from Twitter and onto Facebook, is having the sort of character limitization that they do. And I think maybe it's done maybe in a more nefarious way than I than I accept. Maybe they don't want it to be unlimited characters. For whatever reason, Twitter's kind of more elitist, and it's more to an elite crowd, not like everyman type of social media. I think maybe that's what they're trying to pander to, and that, you know, it's hard to argue with somebody that, you know, is detailed, has enough time to write an essay, and is presenting his arguments really well. Maybe that's the type of crowd Twitter doesn't really want to go for, and maybe I'm just misreading it. But if you want me to pay for Twitter, and if you want me to be able to pay for Twitter, what would it take for Twitter to change for me to want to pay for it? Those are the two things I would pay for. Number one and two, I will pay for it if they change it right now. Boom, I'm done. I will go and subscribe to Twitter. So the number one and two things that they would have to do is number one, blue check mark. Number two, infinite characters. End of story. You do that, done deal. I'll pay for Twitter.